Hello everyone, welcome to GED. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we have some beautiful Bulgolgi meat, some miso soup, and some rice. And I just thought I would talk about how I'm going back to Final Fantasy XIV. And it's been so long since I've played that game. Like I think I quit when Heaven's Ward first came out. So I played through all of A Realm Reborn, most of Heaven's Ward, but didn't see a lot of the patching, the advancements. And then when Stormblood came and Shadowbringers, I don't know. I guess I was too absorbed in other quote unquote MMOs. My guild never really made a full turnaround into Final Fantasy again. And I kind of picked up a little bit for a while, my summoner for a little bit to just level. I don't know, probably about maybe a year ago, was leveling in the Tower of the Dead, and I don't know, I just didn't continue from there. I originally played a warrior and a bard for a little while when I was in Heaven's Ward, but then, like I said, it just kind of dropped off. Speaking of not dropping off, oh man, look at that delicious bulgogi and miso soup. Oh my gosh, guys, so delicious, so amazing. Uh, yeah, so I don't know. Is the new expansion of Endwalker going to bring Final Fantasy XIV into the primary golden spot to crush all MMOs for a while? It's to be seen. I got another MMO on my radar, which is coming out early next year, which is Lost Ark. I know a lot of people are waiting and hoping that that's going to be an amazing title to pick up, but it is what it is. For the time being, I think going back to Final Fantasy XIV, even though they make you pay a super premium if you want to catch up instantly, which I'm not going to be going through the entire process of buying Shadowbringers just to go through the story content. I'm not a huge story guy. I know a ton of people have been saying to me, you must see the story, you must experience it all. But it just hasn't really been a part of what I enjoy out of MMOs. I'm more of a power gamer. I love, killing the bosses, doing the fights, getting the gear, and getting that power rush. And I think, I hope that Summoner and Scholar, which I, will be playing in tandem, is going to bring back that feeling to me. I don't know why I originally played a warrior. I think it was because we needed a tank for one of our raids. But I'm not a really big tank player. I'm not a warrior. I'm not thrilled with the warrior. I'm not thrilled with the bard. But man, the Final Fantasy summoner for me is one of my class fantasies that I've always enjoyed way back since, like Final Fantasy on the Nintendo with Rydia just coming out and showing those huge, amazing, cool summons and all the power that they possess, all that cool damage from them. I am kind of sad that Summoner does not have a pet anymore, technically. I mean, they are just the quintessential Final Fantasy Summoner, and I understand kind of where they went there because Final Fantasy 14 has never ever really had a good pet system. Their pet AI has always been so godly horrible, and I don't know why games really can't get pet AI in a good spot. WoW kind of had decent pets for Demonology and Beastmaster and etc., but I don't know. MMOs, they just are failing hard on the whole pet AI part of gaming, which really makes me sad because I hail from a time and era way back in EverQuest, with my magician summoning that elemental pet and having a ball with, even though they were super dumb AI as well, they at least, it gave you that feeling of being in control, of being a master of conjuration, so to speak. I'd like to hear from you guys. Just tell me what classes you're playing in the new expansion because it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. All the classes kind of got a little bit of inkling, a little bit of touch and go here and there. Of course, you got the two new classes, the Reaper and the Sage, which is kind of impressive that they're launching two new classes into Final Fantasy XIV right off the bat. Usually games don't, do multiple classes or even like full reworks and two classes in a expansion. But man, those devs of Square Enix, they got it going on. The only thing they don't got going on is their pricing for for the titles. Like if they want people to get more excited, more into the game, they should be right now putting everything on sale a month or two before it hits, before it releases. And yes, the Square Enix store has had sales on them, but things like Steam and other avenues for purchasing the game do not. So I mean, they're really hurting a lot of players that want to get into it right now, kind of get their feet on the ground, go through the content right now without buying skips, and be ready to go on day one with all their friends. So they're kind of hurting themselves there in a few regards. They should lay down some law to those third-party vendors. Another thing, Final Fantasy questing. Like, I was just, like I said a year ago, and I remember it so clearly. There is so much content in this game. Like, it is just beyond mind boggling how they can put all this stuff in their game. Granted, they built it so that people are leveling multiple classes on the same character. So they had to have, tons and tons of content just to go through continuously. So people were keeping those different characters in different quests all the time. But just the sheer scope and magnitude of the amount of stuff you can do in Final Fantasy has just blown me away, just talking to my friends about it who are currently playing and who are raiding and who are doing prog and all that stuff. It's just it's so good, so good. Look at that beef and that rice, man. It's so good, so good. I think as I go into Final Fantasy 14 in this next X pack, I have a strong feeling that I'm going to be healing, even though I don't really mean a healer. But I'm okay with Scholar. I mean, a lot of people have been complaining that Scholar didn't really get a lot of love from what they see with the class videos. I'm fine with it. I like the fairy pet. I like, again, having that kind of duality role of being the pet master, being the healer if need be. Um, it's cool. It's all good. Let me know if your class, the class you play, has been touched in a respectful manner from Square Enix. Like, have they done enough to improve the classes going into the next X Pack to make them slightly better from what they were? Because obviously I haven't been playing for a long time, and a lot of the stuff that's going on in terms of balancing, it looks like it could use some work into patches during the progression of the expansion. The moon. I don't know. I don't know the whole story about it, but going to the moon seems pretty cool. We got a preview of that first dungeon with the Magus sisters, and that's hailing all the way back, man, like way back to what is it, Final Fantasy VI, where the Magus sisters are? I know they're in it. Are they even before that? Maybe they're in Final Fantasy two, maybe one. I really can't remember. I know you go to the moon in one. You don't go to the moon in six, but they are in the game. Anyways, I digress. It's going to be a good time. Endwalker is going to be a good expansion, and I'm going back. And that's all I really wanted to tell you guys in this video. Going back to the MMO that kind of touched my heart, but never really captured my entire MMO life. I mean, it's been there. It's been sitting on the shelf, waiting for me to come back and just see what's going on in it. And now that there's a lull in the MMO market and the holiday season is coming around, there's going to be a lot of time to, enjoy and play with my friends who are also going to jump in. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you in this episode. Feel free to check out the rest of this beautiful meal, this beautiful bulgogi and rice. And I will catch you in the next one. Feel free to spark up a conversation in the chat about pretty much anything Endwalker related. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you and goodbye.